Okay, Mr. Roynell Young, we already had one of your Braves up here, Jimmy Giles, and he told us why you go to Alcorn. So I've got to ask, because Jimmy Giles had a school that he was supposed to report to, didn't go, found the love of his life, went to Alcorn 45 years later. You were being recruited hard at home in New Orleans at one point, I believe, by Tulane. Yet you end up at Alcorn. So what was her name?
My lovely bride of 41 years, Kathleen. I met her as a freshman, and some would say that was in my dark phase. And I reintroduced myself to her in my junior year, and we've been together ever since. But the way I discovered her, I saw this stunning young woman walking across the campus, and I was taken by her. And being from New Orleans, I was, hey, baby, hold on, let me holler at you, And she was walking with purpose, and pretty much gave me a look like, you roach, get away from me. And, but I was persistent, and I followed her all the way to a building. Didn't know what the building was, but I was still making my play. And out of nowhere, I heard, shh, shh. And don't shush me, I'm trying to make my play. And she looked up at me. She said, fool, you're in the library. Be quiet. So that's actually how I discovered we had a library.
Well, as all of you know, there are plenty of jokes about athletes and not understand where the library is while they're on college campuses, and now we got proof that you just have to have the right motivation to find the library. That's all we're saying. But you mentioned your dark phase, and when you first got to Alcorn, based off of what I've read, what you've said, I did an interview with you. You weren't exactly following the straight and narrow to do what you needed to do academically, athletically, etc. Can you give us a little background? Because there's a Hall of Fame member by the name of Marino Kasem, the Godfather, that I think had a big influence on you becoming who you are today.
Yeah, I represent possibility. I'm an example of it's not how you start, but how you finish. And so I finished as an academic All-American. I started as a out-of-control, without direction, directionless kid. Not only was it Coach Kasem, but it was men like Dennis Thomas, before he was a great administrator, he was my defensive coordinator. And we were joking earlier, and I was thanking him for having so much patience, but he said, don't get it wrong. We had patience because you had talent. But some remarkable things happened to me at Alcorn. All around me, I was surrounded with black excellence. I couldn't help but be inspired. It's a place where I met the woman of my dreams. It's a place where my life took a total different direction. And so the work that I do now is informed by who I was as a young man who lost his way. And so I'm in the hope business, and I'm always looking for another me and seeing the possibilities. And so, Alcorn, not only Alcorn, but the community in New Orleans that nurtured and raised me. My parents, my grandparents, I would go as far back as the ancestors, spoke to me, whispered to me, and so I was able to wake up, clean up, and now I'm standing up for others around me. And so Alcorn played a big part in that.
Last question, taking it to, as you've described, where your life's work is now. I mean, you played very well in the NFL, Pro Bowl performer, played in the Super Bowl. My sense is that you could have played longer, but you seem to be ready for your life's work and ready to go and do what you're doing. Can you just, where you are now, what you started with, and how you continue to expand, being able to stand up and show black excellence as you demonstrate each and every day?
Well, I once read that the Creator whispers to us in our pleasure, speaks to us in our consciousness, and shouts to us in our pain. And I was able to discover my reason for being before the Creator had to shout to me. And so it's through that, the infamous Fog Bowl, that cold, battered, I was aware of the elements for the first time. And in Soldier Field, I said to myself, I wouldn't say it to anyone else, but I said to myself, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was a restless spirit looking for a deeper purpose. And so it was inside of going back to Houston, Texas, anonymously. I discovered what my reason for being is. And for the last 31 years, I've been able to work on not only the school, but we're on the edge of building mixed income housing. We have a commercial farm, urban farm, and it's right in the middle of the most despair that you would ever imagine. And so I have a big chip on my shoulder for the underdog, and I'm attempting to prove a point in a comprehensive way.
Well, thank goodness you have that chip on your shoulder for the underdog. I'm just glad you're not using those shoulders to hit me right now. So I appreciate that very much. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Roynell Young. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Okay, thank you, man. Good interview.
Wonderful.